Welcome to Not Your Average Cinema. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and
And that's
today
John
we
Cena, if you
that is
can see
John
him.
Cena right there. For the
There he
last
is.
time is now at Money in the Bank. We are reviewing Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and yeah, letting you know what we thought, how we did on our predictions. I will just say, so. Not it could have been better, maybe.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, so we go check out our predictions. Before you watch this video, you have to go watch them, even though you've already seen probably Money in the Bank. And then like that video, at least go and like it. And then come back here and then like this, and then I don't care what you do after that. Subscribe and then go do whatever you want. But we are
Exactly.
reviewing the we thought it was going to be four match card, but it actually turned out to be five match card Money in the Bank. So we only have four predictions. And there are actually five matches. So who knows? You could have brought it back, Zach, because I think I ended up whooping you real good in here. But yeah,
That's
we'll
true. But yeah, I'd like to think that Triple H, with maybe heard some things from our predictions and
yeah,
made changes because of it. But I know he doesn't listen to people on the internet, so
no, he does
uh,
not. He does not. And
so that did not influence the addition of a match and also the something else that happened.
yes,
So
yeah.
there, I guess there's spoilers. So if you don't want that, yeah, you can
Spoilers for
probably
Money
leave.
in the Bank and for Monday Night Raw. We'll talk about a little thing that happened
Yes.
there at the end. You
Yes,
probably know what it is if you know. Uh,
exactly.
Moving on to the opening match, we had the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I believe I predicted Naomi to win this one, and you took Roxanne Perez, and I was like, I could totally see Roxy winning that one. But it ended up being Naomi, so I was very happy with the result of the match. But I don't know if I was happy with the match itself. This one didn't feel like it did all that many crazy spots. Like it just didn't feel like it went to that next level or even the level before that. Just when we've been spoiled with so many great ladder matches and Money in the Bank ladder matches, and the talent here and the youngins, the newcomers on here, especially what is it? Stephanie Vacquet being a uh, newcomer that I've really enjoyed, and
I know. I never know what her last name is. Valkyr. I feel like it's like Valkyr, but it's like Vakir or
I think
something.
it's like
Vakir.
yeah, Vaquer, I
Vakir.
think is how they usually say it. But yeah, this one was mid, I guess, from a 1 to 5 rating. It's pretty disappointing for Money in the Bank. It's probably like a 1.5 or something, 1.5.
Yeah, I was probably gonna give it a two because
You know,
I
it's still
it
ladder.
felt like it made sense to as much as it pains me to say it because you picked Naomi when I would argue if outside of this year, if I'd asked you the last 5 years or however many times Naomi's been in this Money in the Bank, if you would have ever picked her to win the Money in the Bank, you never would have. But
Never.
this year it did make sense, so it made sense that they booked it because I think her new kind of heel character has been pretty solid. It has been pretty solid. It's given me a reason to care about Naomi again. I felt like she was kind of getting blah, and I think this is another way to kind of keep that going.
Yeah.
So I liked the result, so I think that gets it up to a two for me. But I will agree. I thought this had all the makings with the the people in it. I'm like, oh, this could be like an all-time Money in the Bank match, and yeah, just never felt like it quite got going to yeah that next level. Which is yeah, a little disappointing, but um, it wasn't like awful either. It wasn't like they were just missing spots and botching things
Well,
or
if you don't
anything.
have
So
any spots in there, how can you miss them?
exactly. But yeah, overall, yeah, two out of five probably for me.
Yeah. And then we move on to the thrown together match. As you can probably tell, this thrown together slide here of
That is not even who it was, Pepper.
how do you know there's a mask? There's both shapes. It wasn't
That's
Pentagon
true.
Penta here.
I bet there's people arguing that that is Chad Gable.
I know. God, these people are crazy lunatics. But we had Octagon Jr., not Pentagon Jr., or whatever his name is. But I didn't have an image of him, so we're using Penta here in place of Octagon Jr. who really should have been the Mr. Iguana Man. He was definitely the highlight of the AAA, which they had a little mini AAA crossover pay-per-view before Money in the Bank, and people went crazy for Mr. Iguana, and
People
he was in
still
the match.
talking about it.
They are, and they're showing like video packages on Raw. I'm like, he's coming. He's gonna be on the roster any day.
I just don't get it. I'm like, yeah, Trips and the company tried to get rid of Carlito and R-Truth, and now they're like, oh, well, now we gotta get this guy, which I, it feels like he's gonna be somewhat of a comedy act
Yeah,
to me, but yeah,
like a
people really loved him. It
gold
really probably
dust.
should have been him.
Yeah,
I don't think they thought that it would be that big of a thing. If they would have known that, they probably would have put him in the match.
yeah, because they made this match after the match at AAA, and they chose the wrong competitor. And I don't even know why they had this match, other than like it said, maybe they heard don't have enough matches or something like that. Because this is, I think, it's like 4 minutes, just a little over 4 minutes,
Yeah.
and Dominic retained. I don't know what I would have predicted. Probably for Dominic to remain champion, but I don't know if I'd pick him to win. Um, this was useless. This didn't really do anything for me. So this is probably like another maybe a 1 out of 10 because I'm like, why is this even here? Other than to show some
I'd give it,
talent,
yeah,
but
half
they
star
didn't
out
give
of
him that.
5. And
Yeah,
the match was fine, but yeah, it just it did feel like it was just there to fill time. Why not just bring out something else? I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
And then we have the Women's Intercontinental Championship and the hand raising and the you can never challenge again if I win match between Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. I believe we both predicted Lyra Valkyria to win this. And I didn't feel so safe about that one. And I don't know if either of us did. And we were both right to not feel safe because Becky Lynch ended up winning this with maybe a little bit of tights, a little bit of cheating. But another great match.
yeah, I think in our predictions you had said that I picked Becky last time and she lost, so now I'm sure she'll win. And after you said that, I'm like, I should switch to Becky. I should switch my pick to Becky because I was
Yeah.
pretty sure she was going to be a lock to win after you said that comment. I'm like, yeah, he is right. He is right. But yeah, this was a solid match. I think so far in the show, this was the best
Yeah.
of the three by probably quite a bit. It was a pretty solid match. I think these two have some pretty good chemistry in the ring. So, and then by the end of it, it seems like we could potentially continue on possible feud with them. So
Yeah.
maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah.
We will see.
Yeah.
I think I'd be fine either way, but
Yeah. I'd like to
yeah,
see a little more. At least one more
yeah,
match.
yeah. That or we could, I guess, cool off on it and maybe bring it back next WrestleMania or something. If one of
Yeah.
them's champion at that point, maybe
Yeah.
could be
True.
cool.
True. But yeah, I'd probably give that a 3.5 or something, maybe up to maybe a 4.
Yeah, yeah. I'd probably put it right around that same spot.
And then we have the men's ladder match, and it's like, okay, come on, this got to be good. This got to be good. Please be good. We can't go with two bad Money in the Bank ladder matches. And thankfully, this one was fantastic. It seems like they took all the good stuff that was going to be in the women's one and put it into the men's match. This had a no shortage of spots.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting match makeup because I think in our predictions, at least I felt very, very confident that Seth was going to win. I think you had made a little bit of a case for Solo, and
Yeah.
that really kind of maybe felt like the only other option, maybe, unless, you know, they
Hometown
randomly
hero,
decided to give
LA
someone
Knight
else
or
one of them.
something.
The other four just didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Um, unless you want to do some weird storyline with Chad Gable,
Oh,
El
yeah.
Grande Americano.
Yes.
Uh, some kind of storyline with him, maybe wanting him to give him the briefcase because they're pretty good buddies.
Yeah.
Could do something cool with that, but yeah, the rest of the whole rest of them are all pretty solid in the ring, especially like Penta and Andrade. I feel
Yeah.
like they're definitely there for spots,
Yeah. I think Penta is
and
the
they
new Kevin
delivered.
Owens, taking the abuse.
Yes, someone had to be there to do it. Someone had to do it, and yeah, they had some pretty solid spots in this one, and even though it was maybe lacking star power, you could argue, it still was a solid match, and I'm glad that it ended up being a good match because yeah, it could have easily felt very mid as well with the people in it and the somewhat predictable outcome. We both
Mhm.
ended up getting it right. Seth did win.
Yeah. I
I'm very glad that.
think I might have actually predicted Solo. Even though I
Oh, did
wanted to
you
make it
predict him?
different. I think I did actually pick it,
Oh,
trying to
maybe you did
be
end up picking
stupid
him.
and get a pick on you.
Okay.
But Seth did
For some reason,
steal
I
the
thought we
favorite.
both picked Seth.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I liked that as well, that Seth's group got involved. I
Yeah.
figured they would. It only makes sense because it's like, okay, it's no DQ. And then you also have the members of the Bloodline coming in, or some of them. So I liked that too, kind of a little face off outside of. Um, we may not be getting that again, unfortunately. Definitely could have been an interesting potential for War Games, and maybe you could still do something. But yeah, had a awesome moment with Solo Sokoa and Jacob Fatu.
Yeah. Oh man, so yeah, so weirdly, Jacob comes out, saves Solo when he's about to get beat up by Seth Rollins' group, and then it's just Solo and Jacob, and Solo starts climbing up the ladder, and Solo is hilarious. He's one of my favorite things in the WWE right now. His facial expressions, his dancing, bebopping and scatting. He's so entertaining.
He's I don't know what happened because when they were trying to kind of I don't know. If they were trying to push him, maybe they weren't really. I don't know. But when he was trying to be the new tribal chief, it just was not working. It was blah, blah, boring. Did not felt like Naomi. And
Yeah,
somehow, I don't know what they did to both these two people in the last couple of months, but have totally changed it. Because they were just other people with them, around them, that just
yeah,
outshined them, was the thing. And it was just like, oh, now you're making them seem even worse because you're
yeah,
putting Naomi next to Jade Cargill and Bianca, and you're putting him next to Jacob Fatu, and it's like, what are you trying to bury these people? Trying to
yeah,
make it even worse than, and somehow now they brought him back.
yeah.
So I think
But
it'll be more interesting than I would have initially been in a feud with them. I don't
yeah,
know if I
for
would have
sure.
initially wanted that,
Yeah,
but
for
now
sure.
I'm more interested.
Yeah, so Fatu finally says it. He grabs his leg as Solo's climbing the ladder, and he says, "No, you're not climbing up there. I hate you." What everyone's wanted for a year plus. He finally said it, turned his back on Solo, and put him through a ladder. It was a fantastic moment. It turned into chaos, bloodline rules in a Money in the Bank ladder match. It was amazing.
Yes. So yeah. Overall, yeah, the full match probably a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I would say that. 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. Um, Fantastic. And then the main event of the night was a tag team match, which I think we've had some of these in like recent years. Weird main events to Money in the Bank. I think the Usos took on maybe like Roman and another bloodline, like Solo or something. Like non-Money in the Bank main events to Money in the Bank, but the star power is definitely here to earn it with John Cena and Logan Paul taking on Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso. That's why it had to be the main event.
Living up to his namesake.
Yes, exactly. This one it's always a weird match. Cody just randomly comes back and gets thrown into this feud. Not even like a big match. It's big names, but it's not a big match. It's not for anything. Um, but it still had me interested going into it. And I'll say the match was pretty much 15 minutes of working over Jey Uso, always stopping him from making the tag, and then eventually 5 minutes of pure excitement, roller coaster drama in the at the end there.
Yes.
Classic.
Yeah, for me, the John Cena matches so far on his retirement tour have been kind of up and down, and this one was probably a little more down than up, but it did have a few good solid moments that I think saved the match, had its spots, but yeah, I think in our predictions video I had said how I would have probably preferred this to be like Jimmy and Jey Uso taking on Logan Paul and John Cena because I love the team of Logan Paul and John Cena. I don't know why we had Travis Scott at all. Should have had Logan Paul in that spot. It would have made way more sense. and you could definitely have him be even more heelish than ever because people just hate him, hate him, hate him. They won't even respect that he was the best thing about this match. And he's the best one over the last few months, it seems like, out of these four. And we're talking here the kind of the two main eventers here that have been at the top of the show for the last few months, and Jay and Cody, and then now John Cena on his retirement tour. I mean, we're talking three of the biggest names here, and somehow Logan Paul's outshining them all, and people just don't respect it for some reason. Because yeah, in this match alone, he had. I think my favorite part was I always love when he uses like his camera or a drone or something to kind of do these cool shots, and I feel like it's I I could be wrong. Maybe they would have done it anyway, but I feel like that his kind of stuff doing that has inspired WWE to do certain camera shots and things that they
Yeah.
have been doing now. I know they kind of, I think they kind of changed some things behind the scenes, like the people working on that stuff and whatnot, the camera stuff. So they were probably going to have some changes either way, but I feel like some of the stuff has been inspired by things Logan Paul has done.
Yeah.
I don't know for a fact that that's true, but it seems like it because yeah, in this case too, taking he's gonna take a video of himself doing a move, and Cody comes and hits him with was it just like a suplex? Is
I
that
think
what it
so.
was?
Yeah, because he's on the top rope and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna frog splash him or something." And you see Cody jumps up and grabs him and does a superplex off of there. And then he gets hit with an Uso
With
splash while
Uso
he's laying
splash.
on the ground.
Yeah, and they caught both of those things like just it's like funny home videos kind of style of it was kind of humorous how it was done, but
Yeah,
it also was just a really cool angle and shot of that, and yeah, it was just perfection. I I don't know. I'm just like, how did they even get that on like just the first take, first
yeah,
try? Like that doesn't seem like something. I mean, maybe they practiced it, but still, they had
yeah,
one try to do it, and it looked pretty good. It's something that I'm like, you could show replays of if you
yeah.
wanted to, and yeah. Then I think we were talking
My
before, and you were saying your favorite part.
My favorite spot, the Shawn Michaels. I think that's a big moment, and I think it was a WrestleMania match where he kind of does like a springboard, jumps off the ropes, backflip into the announce table. Logan Paul does that here. I think it looks, he's obviously a little smaller, so he gets a lot more air, and it's like, oh my gosh! And the precision to land right on Jey Uso, and the table collapses, and Logan Paul sells it like he's actually dead. He's just sitting there, eyes glazed over. I'm like, wow, that was one of the most beautiful things I've seen in wrestling this year. And like the precision, how he can get, because we've seen him do the backflip off the ropes and get like almost all the way across the ring when he was
Yes.
fighting AJ Styles at WrestleMania. That was impressive. And here to not overshoot the desk, which he definitely could, um,
Hmm.
is just a fantastic spot. That was my highlight. But both of the highlights were Logan Paul, and I think the third highlight is not from any of these other guys. The third highlight,
It was from the hottest free
yes.
agent in wrestling.
They should have referred to him in that way. Spoiler alert for this return of our Truth or Ron Killings, whatever he is now. The We Want Truth movement was successful because it was because of the Truth movement and the fans. People think that they had anything to do with this. This was not backlash causing this. This was the plan all along. Y'all got worked by Papa H. You just had to let him cook. Our truth
Yes.
is never gone.
He was never gone. Never, it never happened. Not one bit. It was all just one big part of the story. And yeah, it was definitely fun, and it caught me off guard because I immediately was thinking, oh, is this going to be a cash in or
No, yeah.
for some reason, I guess it didn't occur to me, but this is how all the Bloodline members seem to have joined the wrestling scene. So I guess it could have been a Bloodline member, but that really wouldn't have made much sense outside of, I guess it could have been Jimmy. But
Yeah.
still, that would feel kind of strange for him to have come in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a little, I was surprised. Um, I'm not totally surprised that he returned in general, or was. I'm surprised he did at that moment because I
Yeah,
think earlier, I don't know if it was Pat or Michael, one of the commentary people had said something that our truth would
yeah, they
say,
said
or
something about Louisiana Night or something,
yes,
which
yes,
our
that's what
truth
it
was
was.
called the LA Night. He said, "Oh,
And
LA stands for."
with the fans being the way they are, I'm like, I just don't think they would say that on
Yeah,
commentary. Why stoke the fire, the flames more?
yeah,
Wouldn't really make the most sense to say that. So I was like, I feel like they're probably bringing him back then because I don't know why they would say that, but
yeah,
I did not think it would be tonight,
yeah. Me
this
neither.
night.
Yeah.
But that was
Overall,
the other thing I think I complained about in our prediction video. So we got one more match and we got our truth. So now he's telling me to shut up.
got what you
You got
wanted.
yours. You got what you wanted. You
So
could have
you,
used it for something better, but that's what you used it on.
if only
A
we
half
would.
star match and returning our truth.
Oh man, we gotta be more careful with our wishes. But yeah, overall, this match, I would say it's got some high highs, but it's got some really meh for a lot of it. So I'd say this is probably right in the middle. I think the highs do bring it up because that's where they leave you. So I'd say this is right in the middle, like two, 2.5 for me.
Oh yeah, and Cody ended up pinning John Cena
Oh yes,
for the
yes.
win, which I did you predicted them
I
to win?
predicted the good guys. You had the
Yeah, I
bad
predicted the
guys.
bad. Yeah, I knew it was not good when it was our truth there. I'm like, well, and they're not gonna win now at all. But I wonder if they changed the plans. I wonder if they were going to win until they're like, well, we're gonna bring him back, and it wouldn't make sense for him to come back and attack and then them not win. So
That's true. That's
I like to
true.
think that they changed the plans.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
But
wondering when this was going to be the main event, and that ladder match was so good with a lot of interference. I'm like, what's going to happen? Are we getting the final boss? Even better, we
I
got
thought we might get a cash in, is what I was thinking.
that as well. And I thought maybe Cody turns, doesn't join John Cena, joins Seth Rollins, takes out Jey. I'm like, are we getting something like that? Because Cody's just been really weird, but he's just still really weird inserted in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so overall, the
Yeah. I
pay-per-view.
probably gave it a 2.5 or 3
Okay.
this match.
So overall, the pay-per-view, I would say it has some highlights, especially the ladder match, some of the parts of this one, the Intercontinental match. But then the other ones don't really feel like Money in the Bank worthy. So this one's probably about a 3 out of 5 as a overall pay-per-view for me.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking as well. Yeah, could even. I think there were enough high spots that maybe get it to the 3. Otherwise, I could see parts of it pulling it down to 2.5 more.
Yeah, just like
Uh,
you said,
yeah,
there's
nothing
still
too
like
special.
Naomi winning is still like a good direction to go. It's not like back when they had Brock Lesnar enter into the match and win it, and it's just like, well, this is a total loss.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think they can do some interesting things with the briefcases maybe this year. They do
Yeah,
have two heels with them now,
yeah,
and I'm trying to think. I feel like for a while there it was very like more face heavy, which just does not work as a concept at all with what the Money in the Bank is, because then you get them being like, "Oh, I'm going to pre-announce my match." Like, why? Why would you do that? I
yeah.
don't care if you're a babyface. That doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
they pre-announced it like Braun Strowman, and then they get into a Hell in a Cell match, and then the Hell in a Cell match gets interference and doesn't finish because of Brock Lesnar, and then he doesn't even get a championship cash in back. Oh, those years, those
Those years,
years, those late
those
90s.
years.
Um,
Triple H would never book something like that.
Never, never. But yeah, then with the teaser that we did at the intro here, we're gonna review a little bit of Raw. Mainly one big thing that happened, a championship match, which it kind of feels like it's capping off the Money in the Bank weekend. A lot of
Hmm.
rumors that there would be a cash in, and that was Jey Uso defending against Gunther. For some reason, he can just call a shot, even though I don't know if rematch clause is even a thing anymore.
Oh, it is.
But he called it in, and he ended up winning the title clean, no cash in, no interference. Nothing like that. He made Jey pass out. Didn't make him tap out, but made him pass out. In another pretty long match where he worked over Jey for most of the time, and then we had some excitement near the end. A lot of finishers in this one. A lot of,
Mhm.
I mean, it's a Jey Uso Gunther match. We've seen this like 4 or 5 times over the last year, which I don't know if that's what everyone wanted more of, but uh, we got it
It's not
here.
quite the same as Lyra and Becky match, where they've got really great chemistry. I don't know that their chemistry is awful, but it just matches out of the ones they've had. I'm like, nah.
Mm,
They have some high points, but overall the matches aren't quite my favorite most of the time
yeah,
between those two. But yeah, I'm a little shocked, and yeah, the way he won clean and stuff, I'm like, oh, this really doesn't feel like there's going to be a cash in now because
yeah,
it would feel a little bit weird. But I'm like, I guess you could have the faction attack him. I
yeah.
guess that could happen, but then also earlier in the night, Seth had kind of teased his briefcase
Oh,
to John Cena, who um, put out the challenge to CM Punk, which we all thought was going to happen at Money in the Bank, and did not. We got whatever that Jekyll and Hyde match was, tag team match instead. But now, yeah, going to have CM Punk and Cena possibly. Must be at Saudi Arabia. Did they
yeah.
confirm it?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah. So Seth had kind of hinted at that. So but you never know, like that if that's
Yeah.
just kind of a thing to throw you off. You're like, oh, he's focusing on that title, so he wouldn't come here. Why would he do that?
Yeah, that's
Um,
what makes it exciting. That's why it's good to have the briefcase around in here and not tease it too much to where it's like, I'm gonna be watching your match tonight. Like, just don't say that. Just sit there, and then we're like, he could cash in here. He might. These people are pretty beat up. They're pretty exhausted. Is he gonna? I don't think he's gonna, but he might. And you're always on edge. And they just have wasted it so many years in a row. Um,
yeah, that's true. And I thought
hopefully,
it could still work here because I was like, they they might be turning Gunther face because he kind of had like that sit down with Jay and
yep,
kind of showing him a little bit more respect since the match. So I'm like, could be a hint at that, and then maybe they come in and attack, and maybe Jay tries to help him. So then maybe you get Gunther and the Usos versus the Seth Rollins experience. Um, or something like that. But yeah, I am happy that the belt is finally back where it belongs, around the waist of Gunther.
I don't know. I was just finally these last probably since WrestleMania to now. I was just starting to get into Jay. I'm not as big of a Jay hater as you. I definitely like him a lot more than the other ones that I do dislike, like a Sami Zayn or Damian Priest. I do like Jay a little bit more than those. And in this one, when I saw him, when they were in those, like it seemed like 10 sleepers back to back that they just kept trading. I'm like, okay, this is going on a little long, but I think it was pretty good. In one of those, when you see Jay and he's fighting there, I'm like, I'm actually invested in Jay as a champion trying to survive this. And I'm like, I don't know if I felt that before in any of his matches. So that's when I knew I was finally getting into it, that it was gonna be over and Gunther was gonna get it. So I kind of, I don't know where they go. Maybe Jay gets it back, but kind of disappointed that we're just going to cut that short, possibly, and not get to see Jay have like a big feud. I was hoping maybe like Sami Zayn and Jay. I think that could have been a really good feud for get both the guys I don't like. So maybe it'll help one of them. Um, I don't know. A little, I'll give it time, but also having Jay be the champion feels like anybody could take the belt off of him, where having it on Gunther feels maybe like a little more of a dominant champion that is like, well, it's gonna take like a big dog, like someone like Roman Reigns or one of these top guys to actually beat him. Where Jay, it was like exciting. It's like there's so many options that I could see beating him. But it's
That's true.
exciting. It's exciting to have a title change on Raw. So I'm mixed right now. I'm gonna
That's
see
true.
how it plays out. But yeah, a little sad for Jay. A little sad for Jay.
Yeah, it kind of sucks as much as I hate on old Jey Uso. Um, I think he's been doing a little bit better. I don't love the run it back thing. I'm a little tired of that because I feel like the entrance is already pretty long. And I'm like, I don't really love that, and I'm hoping that when he's not champion that some of that will go away, but I don't even know that that's for sure. But I am a little worried too because I think I was also kind of like, this last Gunther reign wasn't really anything to write home about, and for a bit there, building up to the 25-week build to the WrestleMania match that we had. Um, there were moments of like ruthless Gunther, and I was like, "Oh, that's what I want." Where was this guy? The whole reign that he had, he just was a pansy the whole time, and then now for this brief period, and now I don't know if he's that anymore. So I'm like, what did we just get a few week look of that possibility? Because that was what I wanted. But yeah, now I'm like, are we gonna even get that? Probably
Maybe,
not.
maybe this is Triple H fulfilling all his planning here. Definitely not going to the fans here. Maybe he is bringing him back. Maybe people wanted like, oh, give us a good Gunther reign, and maybe people are getting tired of Jay, so he's like, okay, I'll give you everything you want, and then you can't complain anymore. Or maybe he saw people really like Jay, and then he's like, okay, I'm giving you truth, but I'm taking Jay away from you. Papa H giveth, Papa H taketh away. It might be
True.
one of those. But
Or
yeah,
maybe Jay is gonna end Cena's reign.
that's true. This does make Jay a lot more interesting. I'm interested to see where his character goes. If I hope they change it a little bit,
Yeah, I hope both of them come off better after this
and we can run
than
it
where I
back
thought they
at
were.
WrestleMania. Gunther, Jay, number 7.
Well, I mean, if they have built them to the right way, I might be fine with it. As long as we haven't had them feuding the entire year leading up to it.
And then just make it interesting in the final 2 weeks.
Exactly. But yeah, that was Money in the Bank with a little bit of Monday Night Raw in there. Like the video if you've made it this far. Subscribe for future wrestling content and other movie content that we do as well, if you're interested in that. But yeah, otherwise, we hope to see you on our other videos. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on that WWE popcorn.